Welcome back to another episode of NFT Catcher Podcast. We'd like to remind everybody that nothing on the show is meant as financial advice, and to please do your own research. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Now the subject is NFTs.
They're known as non-fungible tokens, or NFTs.
NFTs are exploding in popularity.
This is a technology that will forever change the way people interact.
So it is happening whether you understand it and like it or not.
This phenomenon is moving. The digital.
You have now joined Jenny from the blockchain and Michael Keene on the NFT Catcher Podcast.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the NFT Catcher Podcast with me, Jenny from the blockchain, and my co-host, Mike Keene. So we have a very special episode today, and I want to just introduce our guest really quick. This is a collaboration episode with Josh Gordon from the Unstoppable Domains podcast. Josh, welcome in.
Thank you. Yeah, always happy to talk NFTs, and I respect the podcast hustle. So, I'm running a podcast myself. So I like what you all do and just happy to join.
Yeah. Awesome. Tell us a little about your podcast.
Sure. Yeah. It's a Web3 NFT podcast. I would say it's not just solely focused on the NFT project deep dives. It's a little bit more holistic, like Web3 concepts, and talking to entrepreneurs, creators, investors in what we're building on the blockchain. So I talk to VCs, I talk to creators of like PFP projects and play to earn projects, and then also just entrepreneurs in this space building Web3 companies. It's called the Unstoppable Podcast on behalf of Unstoppable Domains. Definitely can dive into NFT domains and digital identity if you want to get into that here. So it's weekly, comes out every Wednesday on all your favorite streaming platforms, and I'm loving it. So it's my awesome. It's what I've been able to transition to Web3 full time to do.
That's awesome. And you were saying right before we started recording too that you started in January, just hosting the show and everything.
Yeah, it was my goal to go full-time Web3 in 2022 and made it happen on the first Monday of the year.
Wow, let's go. That's so exciing. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked.
Wait, you get paid for a podcast? What are we doing?
It's pretty crazy. I have to pinch myself sometimes. But I do get paid to podcast, and I'm still learning how to tell that to people. It's kind of weird. Like, what do you do? And I'm like, I'm a podcast host. I have to say it with my chest a little bit more. I got to be confident.
I can hear that. You should hear how I have to explain to people what I do. I own a Bored Ape. What do you do for a living?
I own a Bored Ape. That's all you need to know. I own a Bored Ape.
I own a Bored Ape. Is that enough?
I just get airdrops every quarter.
Yeah.
I just collect free money. That's what I do.
It's not a bad life. And hopefully we have some fun along the way.
Yeah, could be worse. I saw a TikTok today that actually put some of that in perspective. There was this guy at a party, and he was going around to all these people, like, what do you do? And one person would be like, I'm a lab technician. How much do you make? $60,000 a year. Like, I'm a this. And it's just like, the amount of money being thrown around.
Yeah, I saw a similar TikTok. They were at least the one I saw, they were interviewing people in the DC area. And I used to live in Northern Virginia, just outside DC, and that's where this one person was doing them all. And it's kind of interesting, just walking up to someone random, and they were sharing. It's not something everybody shares, but it was
definitely
good insight.
They probably have to ask a lot of people to get to share. Yeah,
probably.
Nice. So go ahead, Jennifer. Speaking of free money, something happened in the NFT space the last couple of days.
Yeah, we should talk about that. The Otherside land drop, I guess. The whole event. Should we call it an event? It was like a whole fiasco, really.
It was something.
I felt like, I don't know if it's just my timeline or if it just really is the entire NFT world is paying attention to it. But was anyone buying anything or focused on any other project but this past weekend?
Not really. As it was happening, they couldn't do anything. If you were looking at the OpenSea activity, no other projects could be bought because of what the gas was. But no, it was all encompassing. I actually went over a bunch of data that once we start talking about it, of the effect that this had on many other projects leading up to the drop. There was kind of a negative effect on lots of different projects in the space. No, nobody was worried about much else.
I was literally, because this does not relate to me. I do not have anything Bored Ape. I did not KYC. So I was just out in nature. I was going to the botanical gardens. I was going to the farmer's market, living my in real life, enjoying it.
I gotta ask, why didn't you KYC? I'm curious. Was it the fact that they didn't say what it was for and that felt sketchy? Was it just because personally there's so many projects out there, you're just like, the Bored Apes just aren't one I'm diving into?
Well, I mean, I'm not, I don't know. So I definitely didn't like the fact that they just were like, KYC right here. And they didn't say what it was for or anything. That was very suspicious to me. And I was like, I'm not a huge fan of that. And even though I'm not really anonymous, because everybody knows my first and last name, Jennifer Sudo, my face is out there, I still kind of I don't know, I sometimes kind of push back from the way it feels like Web3 is becoming less and less decentralized, and just things are seeming more centralized and stuff, and just and I know how to KYC for Top Shot and stuff. So it's just it's obviously,
I mean, I definitely hear you on that. And it was something that I felt like a lot of my friends too. It was a struggle to get people to KYC. I basically didn't happen with most of my friends. I did get my mom to KYC though, and she did mint. So I definitely want to get into that. That was exciting this weekend.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
But I don't know. I think there's a decentralization spectrum, and yes, I hear the KYC centralizes things. It's gathering identity information, but at the same time, they're still making the product at the outset of it is the decentralized NFT, But I do the way Bored Apes and Yuga just withhold information and build that hype is just their brand, it seems. So there's still not a lot of information about this game out. There's stuff on the website, but you really have to read into things.
Yeah. What did your mom get? What kind of land did she get?
So I've been talking to my mom about NFTs since the Top Shot days. So I mean, I'm sure you hear that a lot. I've been following you since Top Shot and whatnot. And
let's go.
I remember talking to her about I just bought this video of LeBron and it's $200, and it was like, what? And then I remember telling her about CryptoPunks and apes. I bought a Bored Ape. Now I just got a mutant, but she's just been listening to me talk about it for so long. I kind of wanted to bring her in on something, and I feel very hesitant to tell people hey, this is something you should mint. I don't know how you two feel when you're telling someone.
Absolutely. No, it's awful. I can't stand doing that.
You just never know. So, but this one, I was like, okay, we got to do it. And so, I basically just worked out a deal with her. I was like, I'll just walk you through it. If we make profit on your mints, you keep it. Let's get a W. And because I think that's going to bring her in for more and more, and kind of we'll have something to align on. And she got two. We paid the gas last night. It was kind of a struggle to get that to happen. So I put 1.5 ETH in her wallet, and we needed 1.9. And I had a stuck transaction at the time. So I was calling friends, hey, can you send 0.5 ETH to my mom? And I got someone to do it the last second. And we got the transaction through. So she got two. We did sell both of hers pre-reveal. It was tough because it was do we lock in? It was this battle between wanting to wait for post-reveal, and you just never know if you're going to hit the lottery ticket. But I just didn't want her to walk away with nothing or to break even. I think that would have been not as fun. So my dad's driving a 2005 minivan with 200,000 miles on it. So I was like, all right, you know what? If we sell right now, you can get that new car basically covered. So she wanted to lock it in, and turns out she had a coda.
Don't tell her that. Please don't tell her that. Please don't tell her.
I looked.
That's always the way. That's always the way.
Yeah. My stomach sank. And I said, do I tell her? And I told her, and she was really nice about it. She said, she didn't regret anything. She was happy with how it turned out. And because you just never know. And it was a statistics game. Statistically, we don't end up with a coda, So she was happy, and I guess the person who bought me pre-reveal was probably pretty
They
happy
were
too.
so pumped. Yeah. And by the way, the quotas for everyone listening, we're going for like 40, 50, 60, right? Like people were spending massive amounts of ETH on these.
Yeah. The floor seems to be hovering around 28 for a coda right now. But if you get a good one, I mean, they're going for those prices.
Got it. Michael, how was your experience?
Mine was good. I claimed my ape. I claimed my mutant. I actually did not KYC either for no other reason other than just procrastinated and missed it like a fool. But I watched a bunch of people that I'm friends with, people I work with, were part of the mint and were minting. So mine, I didn't get any codas. I didn't get anything special. I'm actually a little depressed I didn't sell when I had some 15 ETH offers on my mutant land last night. Now that one's probably worth just a little above floor. I have a 14 ETH offer right now on my OG land that I'm actually almost even consider taking. Like sell one, keep one, 14 ETH, you know?
I mean, it's like when you hold the asset and then you can make the dividend, you know, I'm putting air quotes for everyone listening, like the dividend from it. It's a great feeling because it's so hard in the NFT space when you hold on to this thing you love so much or you think is going to have continued value, but you can't get any immediate liquidity out of it. So personally, I'll say it on the pod too. I did sell my mutant land. I got a 16 ETH offer on it like 5 minutes before reveal. Yeah. All right. You know what? I'm going to do it too. So
congrats, man. Nice.
I feel like I have ETH goals and crypto goals, and it just helps me get closer to those. So it's good. There's
no shame in that. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah. Cool.
That's exciting.
I'm gonna probably figure out how to sell one of my, the thing is with my mutant land right now, it's not much above floor because there's nothing special about it. And that's just what they're going for.
So what do you two think about the gas and the negative sentiment that came out? I mean, Twitter went negative yesterday, and it was kind of scary. It was the first time. I'll say one thing, and I want to hear your reaction. Like there was a really good tweet that resonated with me, and this person is a ape holder, and they basically said, for the first time, I wasn't having fun, and I thought that was an interesting take.
Yeah, no, I mean, for a lot of people, it wasn't fun. The people that were putting those transactions in, it's kind of weird how the lost gas goes on failed transactions. Some people were saying they were losing the full 1.6, and some people only lost like 0.1. I'm not sure the difference. I don't know if either of you guys know what it seems like it's like random, like how much you lose if your transaction fails. They did say that they're going to refund people the lost gas on failed transactions. The way they did it was not ideal. It definitely caused issues. It was stressful for people. We saw the Moonbirds do something similar a couple of weeks ago, and they did it with a raffle, and there wasn't a ton of gas. We burnt 9 figures in gas, and that's the worst part to me because that money came from other projects, people selling other projects and burning it on gas to get this. Now, everybody that minted made money, just about. So those people are happy to burn that money because they made money, but it was some issues, obviously some major issues. That's a lot of money to just burn. It like really is. Gas is a racket. It's unbelievable. And people were also claiming that Yuga might have done this on purpose because they then came and said, maybe we're going to do our own layer one. We think that DAO should concentrate on that.
It was a very quick recommendation for a layer one. And so I think that caught people a little off guard there. They were like, whoa, I mean, that's a big recommendation to make 5 minutes after this gas war.
Right, exactly. And that was a nasty gas war. I mean, it's nice that they gave that money back to the people that really got screwed because people lost a lot. I was in the Otherside Discord. Were either of you guys in there at all? That place was wild. That place was wild. Like it was like
flying, probably.
Yeah, like people were pissed, and like there was this one that kept getting posted by different people. It was like, I just broke my TV in front of my wife and kids, and my wife took the kids away to a hotel for a week. Yeah, exactly.
Not a copy pasta.
And they were doing it over and over again. It was like, this ruined my life. People were saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that this obviously isn't a unique situation. Like this has happened for a lot of very high projects, like, people burning insane amount of money just purely trying to pay for gas. And but I think that people weren't expecting it from Yuga because it's like they're the number one in the space, and people have really high expectations for them. So I think that was a problem. It wasn't the fact that there was a problem, because projects have problems all the time, but it's the fact that a project at this scale and this far into the game still had problems, and it like the contract wasn't optimized, and all these things, and people were mad, even people that got the land. Like, I even saw Bored Ape holders that got land, usually you're supposed to be, oh, don't talk shit about your bags, but they were voicing their opinions, upset that it kind of went down like this. And yeah, it kind of makes me think I feel like I can kind of speak for the people, because I always barely have any ETH at all. Like, at all times, I'm just barely scraping by with ETH. And
It's so hard to keep ETH in your wallet.
Yeah. And all my, money is tied up in these liquid JPEGs for the most part. And so, yeah, it's just I'm damn, yeah, I definitely could not. First of all, I did not even have enough, money to actually get the land itself. But then on top of that, to account, you have to have an extra couple $1,000s, just to pay for gas. That's insane. Yeah, it just, it's just it does suck a lot, but I am glad I don't know. I was curious, do you guys know if they're refunding every person who paid a crazy amount for gas, or is it just the failed transactions?
I think it's just failed.
I think it's just failed. There was a rumor going around that they were refunding everybody earlier today, but I don't think that is realistic.
That'd be pretty crazy, considering that would drain their war chest that I think everyone loves that they have.
Yeah. What did it end up being? Was it 130 million? Is that what it ended up being? Something like that.
Seen a couple different numbers, but that's around the range. I feel like I've seen.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so tough because with the Moonbirds a couple weeks ago, with the raffle, some people hated on the raffle, and then it's if you don't get picked, it brings in this question of is it fully decentralized again? People are picking who can join, and then the gas is a fair way to handle it in the terms of, if you're willing to push your transaction to the top of the queue, you go first, but it's not fair I don't know if fairness is even the right word. It's just, it's not as available or inclusive to people who maybe don't have their bags stacked from ETH or BIAC airdrops, over and over again. So, yeah, it's definitely sad to see. Yeah. I had some friends who couldn't get in because of that. They had the ape, they were ready to go, but when it came time for the gas, they just couldn't swing it. And so I think that's a big bummer too, is just the lack of people who are excited about this that got pushed out.
Yeah, for sure. You made a good point there.
I just thought of something. I'm gonna say that earlier today, I have been listing, I told Michael this last time, I've been listing my doodle and my cool cat on Looks Rare every day. Not that I want to sell it, because I like holding on, but you get points and you earn Looks token literally just for listing at least 1.5 times the floor. So Doodle's pumped, and my Doodle almost freaking sold. I was freaking out. I was like, oh my god, no, not my forever Doodle.
Yeah, they just broke 20, right?
Yeah, they did. And I wanted to tell Michael that was my thing.
Oh man,
I don't know what happened.
I think liquidity just flowed. I mean, you mentioned liquidity
21.8, 21.89. That's one that didn't really go down. That's one that didn't really go down. I guess people were
Doodle's going strong.
Doodle's going real strong.
I saw someone say that Doodles are the first PFP project to break 20 without a sidekick, but that also wouldn't make sense because Moonbirds are above 20.
So maybe without staking as well?
Maybe. It's impressive though.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's very impressive.
But you got rewards for it for however long you did it though, huh? I haven't used. I'm one of those that haven't used Looks Rare yet.
Oh my god, dude! What are you waiting for? Seriously, you should. And you have a mutant too. You can earn mutants are the number one. So basically, the top 25 projects for the day, you get points and you earn like tokens, depending on the project and how many you have and whatever. But literally, yeah, it's just like you have to have it 1.5 times the floor. So obviously if you have something rare, it's not worth it to list because you're probably going to sell it. But yeah.
What are your takes on like clean PFPs? You know how there's like the ones with rarities, and then there's the 4 trait. My mutant's a 4 trait. So I sometimes I don't know, like, is that something someone wants, or because it's not gold, it's not something like that, 1.5 could be safe?
Yeah,
that's a good
that's a really good question. We had a great conversation with Franklin a couple of weeks ago about this.
I did listen.
Yeah. And how he talked about, and this is with the apes, where he talked about there's only those handful of traits that actually really move the needle at this point. The colors in your mouth, or the gold, or the noise.
Because the benefits are the same regardless.
Right.
Yeah.
So right. And since it's gotten so high, like for a while, it was a big parity on those traits. But if you don't have anything that's like really special.
How about this? List it for 1.5 times the floor and find out.
All right. I may have to do it and report back. So
if it sells, then I will not be held responsible if it sells.
You become so attached to them. But sometimes I don't know, is that my forever identity or not? I switched to my moon. I got a Moonbird too, and I switched to the Moonbird for a week, and it was kind of nice to, for the first time, to switch it. And it was like, okay, I can do that. You know what I mean? And it kind of cut the tie a little bit, but I'll check it out. I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah. Let me go back to what my point was to what you said. So Yuga comes out a couple of days ago and they say Dutch auctions are bullshit. But then how you described it, where you put the most money, you put yourself in front of the line, you get one, is basically a Dutch auction. But instead of the team getting the money got burned to the miners. It was like a worse type of Dutch auction in that respect. It still was kind of a Dutch auction.
I think even in a Dutch auction, they're like, when you get to that price that everyone decides that if it hasn't sold out yet,
right, then it turns into a gas war. Yeah,
it's still a gas war. So we basically just had that off the bat. But I did see something interesting. Vitalik responded to someone. I had the tweet pulled up somewhere, and he said that it wasn't the contract's fault. It was just the fact that this essentially the only way to avoid this kind of thing is just to do some kind of lottery system, some kind of raffle, essentially the Top Shot move, the Moonbirds, pre-mint, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I was just thinking, like, if there was, because the one thing Top Shot really does right is they have a queue system where it's like, you wait in line. It's like, 1 hour till it's your turn. And there's only so many people that can.
Yeah, it does take like 4 hours to go through.
I know, it's really annoying. But, people were willing to sacrifice their time anyway. Everyone was literally,
Well, it took 2 hours last night. Yeah, it took 2 hours to do that. So
yeah. So maybe, I don't know how that works, but yeah, there's like a queue system. But like, how would that work with, I don't know. I haven't seen any Ethereum projects do like queue systems. So
that'd be a tough build probably for someone like a one-off.
Yeah. And apparently like Vitalik, I'm not even going to read this tweet because it doesn't even make sense to me. I'm not a gas expert, to be honest. He's talking about GUI, and if that's even how you pronounce it. How do you pronounce that?
I think it's Gwei. I thought it was Gwei.
Oh.
I don't know.
It's whatever you want it to be.
It's interesting when you read some of these terms in your head, what you pronounce in your head. So I actually always, I don't know why, but Bored Ape Yacht Club, I pronounce it Bayak in my head, even though it's
Bayak. Yeah, when you said that earlier, I was literally gonna be like, Bayak, bro. I've never heard anybody say it like that.
It's just how I said it in my head first, and then but people say bake, and I didn't hear that for the first time until I went to NFT NYC.
That's funny. Speaking of NFT NYC, are you going to the one coming up in June?
I am going. And, so I'll say like, this is one of the benefits of working for a Web3 company is like they pay for you to go to Web3 conferences because it's a work trip. So I'm going to be there for the week. Right now looking into doing potentially a music NFT event. Like music's kind of my background, and we're Unstoppable's looking to do a couple really cool things. So we're putting on a Woman of Web3 event for sure, and trying to figure out what our other plays there are. But I'll be there jumping around from some of the communities I'm in. I definitely want to listen to some talks. I know NFT NYC gets some slack for having just like 1,000 different speakers, but there's definitely a couple things I want to listen in on and just network.
Yeah.
So last year I went it was the day before, and I'd been going back and forth. I just pulled the trigger, and I had a friend in New York City who was working kind of for consulting, and he had a hotel for the week. And so I crashed with him. So I had free lodging every morning. He covered my breakfast with his per diem. And so I was totally just mooching off him and working from the hotel room during the day, and then just like going to all the parties at night. And it was such a good time. It just felt like all these people from around the world that believe in this weird thing that they can't really talk to their friends or family about just came together, and it was just refreshing. So
that really was. That was an amazing time for sure. November, because that was like the first one that was like really a big deal. That was an absolute blast. Absolute blast.
What about you two?
Yeah, we're going.
Nice. Yeah,
we're going, and Andy's going to be there. You know, Jennifer is hosting panels at VCon.
I saw you mention something about it on Twitter.
Yeah,
that's sweet.
Yeah. So that'll be happening first, then VCon. I actually might be throwing an event. I might be collaborating. Evaluate Market might be collaborating on an event in New York. So I'll have to invite you guys. So
heck yeah.
But yeah, I know somebody tweeted like, oh, are you guys going to NFT NYC? So I wanted to like say that we will be there.
Let's revert real quick back to what I was saying, where a lot of the projects, they like came down in price leading up to yesterday's drop. A lot of them have actually come back some, like Smilesverse got down to 0.74. So, but it was actually really interesting because I started going through a lot of the projects on Flips.finance, that website I told you I really like for data, and a lot of the projects that I'm into that we talk about a lot, and all of them pretty much to our project went back to their price at the very beginning of January. If you remember, we had that huge pump at the beginning of January. So like VFriends was its lowest since then. It got down to like 8.9. Cool Cats got down to like, it got under 5 for a minute, Cool Cats. And I think it's back up.
The CEO also stepped down, right? So they had uncertainty within the project too.
Yep. Very true. Smilesverse got down under half an ETH, and now it's back up to almost 0.7. Dead Fellas went down to its lowest point since January. BYO Pills the same. VFriends 2 went to an all-time low of 0.5 yesterday.
Oh, wow.
And Cool Pets went down to 0.75. Yeah, so like things really, really dipped all around the markets.
Yeah,
leading up to that, and they started to come back some, but there was a huge dip.
Everyone was just preparing because there was just this massive FOMO, massive uncertainty, and I mean, I'd say that for the people who were able to get in, depending on the gas fees you paid, you might have probably was a good move from just a pure financial play.
Yeah,
but it's really interesting. Like when one project dominates the whole NFT space, is that a good thing? I mean, because at one point they bring so much awareness to the table. They do so much when they expand the market, it expands the user base that every project can reach. And at the same time, you see these residual effects where they suck liquidity. So it's this back and forth.
Yeah. The Otherside did the same amount of volume in the last 24 hours that Mutants and Apes did combined in the last 30 days.
Crazy. Yeah. And it was just 2 weeks ago that Moonbirds was breaking records. You know?
Yeah. Otherside's about to pass Moonbird's all-time volume.
Oh, wow.
In 24 hours.
And I really wonder who is doing all this trading. Is it new people? What do you think? Is it new people, or is it just these apes just doing ape shit?
I don't know about. I personally don't know if like new people, maybe people that have been watching Yuga for a while and like maybe they really jumped on that KYC thing. But I do think it's a lot of people that have been in the space that have money, because I just think it's like. New people don't have money unless they do, maybe rich new
if you're
people,
new, it's even hard it would have been hard to figure that out if you're a new person. To like with the gas, like and what's going on with my MetaMask? What it would have been tough to figure out. It's a lot of like the same people pay. We'd probably be surprised how few people it is passing that money back and forth. You know what I mean? Like up and down and up.
Yeah, I was just watching. I was up so late last night, just watching things go, trying to make decisions here. And I would click on people's wallets when I saw a sale. I was like, all right, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, who is this person?
And sometimes you just get to a wallet that has the worst NFTs in it, and you're just like, whoa, you just spent 30 ETH and you have, something I've never even seen before that is worthless, And so like who are you? Yeah,
dude, sometimes I'll be judging people. I'll be like judging their wallets. Like, I'm like, oh, this person, that was a bad move. And then I'm like judging what they have in there. Like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, I'll straight up sometimes, definitely be judging people.
You see someone who bought like the top of a couple projects, and then they just bought the NFT from your project, and you're like, oh no, maybe that's the sign.
It's a sign. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So that was wild. This is a situation that we talked about for a long time. Like, they have another 100,000 lands to go.
I don't really fully understand the lands. Like, is it directly related? People were saying, oh, it's not even really Bored Apes. It's like something different. Like, I do not understand the land or the Coda thing. Really,
I kind of think about it in two fields. Like, Yuga is going after there's the metaverse play and there's the in real life play. And in real life, you got merch parties, the Miami clubhouse that's coming. And I mean, I think there's going to be a chain of like clubhouses across the world eventually. And then they got the metaverse play. So Otherside is the full video game, play to earn, NFT wearables, avatars, like that whole side of things. So it's just the expansion. Because right now everyone has like the apes and the profile pictures, but what do we really do with them online? I mean, I would say up until today, not much. Still don't really know how the apes play a part in it, but you would think that the NFT has to have some impact in the digital realm versus just an access token to membership events, right?
Yeah, for sure. If you were to make like a Web 2, Web 3 analogy, and you look at Yuga kind of like either Google or Amazon, who knows if they'll have that kind of future, but like, the Bored Apes was like when Amazon was selling books, and then we didn't know what was going to be coming. We don't know what's going to be coming, but if you have trust in that brand, then hopefully they're going to deliver this new world of opportunity that, you couldn't have imagined that with Amazon, what was coming. And Amazon's still like, you're going to have drones delivering your stuff like on demand.
Yeah.
Amazon is so popular now, and to think it just started as just books. Literally, I order off of Amazon like every other day. It's like crazy.
Yeah. My wife gets packages constantly. Every day there's 2 or 3 packages at the front door. I'm like, what do you order?
Like literally anything you can get like from Amazon. Like if you can think about it, it's probably on Amazon. Like,
right. Well, it's funny. My mom says like, I couldn't find this or that. I'm like, why don't you just search it on Amazon? Like it's there,
I live in Portland, Oregon, and the one area of the United States that might be slightly anti-Amazon. So you'd be surprised how many people here who just don't order from Amazon.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of local stores in Portland. So
yeah.
So what else has been going on this week? ENS blew up. I saw Jennifer, you had a tweet about that.
So well, it wasn't exactly just ENS names, which are basically like, think of them as domain names on the blockchain that can be your wallet address. Like, anyway, it was the number once, like the first 10,000, all of a sudden people became fascinated by the fact that, oh my God, you could secure 5873.eth as your wallet, and that can be your wallet address. And they started flying off the shelves. Everybody registered them and they all sold out in like a day. And I feel like Daniel Got Hits like led that cult like movement of like, guys, he's been a huge advocate of ENSs for so long, but he just became like obsessed with numbers recently for some reason. And then he's just been like spreading the word like crazy. And then everybody just followed along with that. But sorry,
I have some takes, a couple like thoughts here. And I will say, like, I literally work for the ENS competitor. So
that's right. That's right.
Unstoppable Domains. There's a long backstory here that I don't have time to get into. But our founders at Unstoppable were working at the hackathon, like with the people from the ENS team on like ENS, and then decided to essentially they had different viewpoints on things. Like this is back in like 2017, I believe, and created Unstoppable. So we also make NFT domain names, and it's interesting having this inside view at Unstoppable because ENS gets a lot of the clout online. And it's because like you see celebrities and a lot of people. I had an ENS. I mean, I still do have an ENS name. But like people rep their ENS name on Twitter a lot more than their Unstoppable name. And with the I'll plug Unstoppable here real quick. If you're interested in NFT domains, I would definitely recommend learning about Unstoppable. There's some differences I'd be happy to mention to you guys. And I'll never say anything bad about another project. I think everyone's helping make the space bigger. We're all innovating, and competition.
And you can say whatever you want. If you have something,
I have some good things to say. Yeah. I like Unstoppable domains because you can get .nft, .crypto, .x.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite ones.
Yeah, we offer some other alternative like domain extensions. And so ENS is really focused on just Ethereum. So that's why your only option is .eth. At Unstoppable Domains, we're more blockchain agnostic. So we do mint on Polygon, and you also have the option for Ethereum. But right now we cover all gas fees on Polygon. And a couple of the major differences are one, we're that decision to be on other chains is actually really important. And it's interesting that we just saw this gas war come out. Then we saw the Yuga Labs mention, hey, maybe we need to build a blockchain dedicated to ape, because obviously that this is not the best solution for our consumers, our users, our members. And so when you have a company that's willing to be flexible around the blockchain that they mint on, especially when it's a roll up, so like an L2 that still rolls up to the security on Ethereum, you can push solutions that are better for users. With Unstoppable, you don't have these crazy gas fees. You can mint a ENS name sometimes, and it's $6 gas, but sometimes you go in there and it could be 500, 1,000, depends how long you register it for. And that's another key difference. With ENS, you don't own, and I'll tell this to everyone who's an ENS supporter, you don't own your ENS name. You rent it. It's a Web 2 subscription based model, and you pay your yearly registration up front. And I'd throw back to you, what other NFT do you not own outright? Do you rent? And it's I just think that's interesting how it gets missed by a lot of people. We talk about decentralization, and they do have a DAO, and I think that's an interesting play. And I'll also say, this is like literally my jam, so I could talk about this forever. But like they have the DAO, Unstoppable doesn't have the DAO. I think when you give thousands of people a lot of money, they become hardcore supporters.
Yeah, but, they dropped that token. That's right.
Yeah, and I got it too, and it was awesome. You see a lot in crypto and Web3, and we're going to see it so much more. You got Coinbase, and then you have Uniswap. Like you have the centralized version and the decentralized one. You have OpenSea, and then you have LooksRare. And we're going to see that over and over again. You have ENS, you have Unstoppable Domains, and there's just slight differences. But the decentralized version in the long run will often not be able to reach a wide market adoption in the beginning, because how many steps do you have to go through to get your ENS name? You have to have a MetaMask, etc. Unstoppable, you can pay with your credit card. So I like what they serve, but yeah, there's some interesting differences there. So I always want to let people know there's an alternative. But the numbers was interesting. You can do subdomains, and that's really why they blew up. People are like, oh, if I can get this 4-digit domain, then I can basically rent out these subdomains to every project who wants them. And I think that's another interesting thing is like, I think about NFT domains as not an NFT you flip. That should be your identity. That is your name. That's your one login, your one profile across every decentralized application. And yet with ENS, there's a big like flipping culture. Oh, I'm going to buy Coca-Cola.eth, so Coke has to pay me 50 ETH. And at Unstoppable, that like resell thing is really just less of a focus. We do have resells too. Not as many as ENS, to be frank. Someone just resold one of their domains for like 150K a couple weeks ago. That was a big one. But we really push, this is your name, this is your identity, you own it, and that's yours. And so versus let me try to name squat. That's a little bit of my rant there.
I have a question. Sorry, I just have a question for you since you're here. You know, we might as well take advantage of the fact that you're here. And also, I really like that it's like you're able to kind of speak on this and give your input. I totally forgot about the fact that you work for Unstoppable.
I love it
during this discussion as well. But so you can't set your on OpenSea, I don't know how to describe this. Your wallet address, you can't set it to be Jenny from the blockchain.nft, right? Because I've tried and I don't know how to do it.
So that comes down to does the application have the domain integrated resolution wise? And we Unstoppable has partnered with OpenSea. I can't say where there's going to be a specific date where Unstoppable domains are fully integrated into OpenSea, and when you buy or sell a domain, you'll see your name listed on the transaction history. But we actually have 200 employees at Unstoppable now. I mean, I joined in January. There was about 90.
Wow.
We're probably at 180 now. And so we're growing rapidly. We have a business development team fully dedicated on building partnerships with every Web3 decentralized application in the space, and also some big Web2 companies. And so you can log into other websites using your NFT domain and grow that integration base. So I will say, and we've talked about this internally, integration with OpenSea and integration with MetaMask are probably the two biggest downsides to the Unstoppable domain right now, because we're not integrated with MetaMask, and it's as a employee and an NFT holder, that's frustrating, because there's hundreds of thousands of Unstoppable domain holders that would also love to be able to use those services with their domains. So I think once that comes, you'll see it a lot more, and that kind of will bleed into also seeing it on Twitter a lot more and whatnot.
Sorry, Michael.
I'm just chatting it up. You're good. Keep asking
I have one more time to interrupt you, and then I finish my cue.
This is good
okay,
stuff.
I just wanted to say I have an alpha leak that I just remembered this. As you were saying, we're collaborating with as many Web3, companies and to integrate. Anyway, I don't know if I should be saying this. I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to say it anyway. For Evaluate Market, we literally, it's not live yet, but it's going to be live once we push out the new push. You can now log in through Unstoppable. You can connect, and it's we've integrated with Unstoppable domains, which I literally forgot about until you just said that. And I was
Heck yeah, no, that's really awesome. And so we have login with Unstoppable, so you can think of Web2, you log in with your email or your Facebook, and now you can start logging into websites with your domain. And at first it's basic. It's using your domain versus just using email or connecting to your wallet. And the power of a domain, people don't realize yet. I think NFT domains are going to be one of the biggest use cases of Web3 that takes Web3 broader. It's bigger than art. It's not just video games. Every single person has a name, and every single person interacts on the internet. And so this affects all of us. So the way I think about it is, we need to be able to take our digital identities around to every website we go to. And that is more than just your email. It could be as basic as your shipping address. It's your payment information. And we can start associating off-chain data to our on-chain identity. And so maybe you just bought a home and you have your mortgage information. So some kind of binary. I just bought are you a new homeowner? Yes or no? This is just a complete hypothetical, yes or no. And let's say it's yes, that's associated with your NFT domain. Now you're surfing the web, you use login with Unstoppable on Wayfair, and Wayfair sees new homeowner. They can send you customized promotions because you've permissioned them access to that data. So that's there's just going to be a whole world where you start associating all these different data points with you, and then you can start logging into these websites. I mean, what about Evaluate? If you log in with Unstoppable and you've connected certain NFT collections to your domain, you log in right away, and it's probably already actually available with your wallet. But you can see evaluates features for the domains associated with you, stuff like that. But I think it's awesome that we're partnered with you guys. So I'd love to see it. And thanks for the shout out. I actually didn't even realize, because we're integrating with apps every day. So hard to keep up with.
Yeah. And I know Christian, CEO of Evaluate, is coming on your guys' pod soon.
Yeah. I'm stoked to talk to him about just like the whole data analytics side of the blockchain. I mean, I come from a data science background myself. So how we can start doing like more on-chain analysis is super interesting. And you guys were really leading the way. I mean, when Evaluate Market came out during the Top Shot craze, everyone, I mean, I was going on there every day and watching my numbers go up, and then my numbers go down. So
now it's just going down, you know, but
I still hodl my season 1. It's not that rare, but it's a season 1 LeBron dunk in the bubble, the alley-oop from Caruso. So I will hold that one forever.
Nice.
I think anything LeBron is what's going to really be the cream in 5-10 years when he goes into the Hall of Fame, when they start making documentaries about him like Jordan. I actually have I didn't collect all that much. I might have 50 moments, but like 22 of them are LeBron. Because I was down for LeBron. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
It's like whatever the player, so that was an easy one to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't call my favorite Sixers fan, but I live here in Miami, and I went to a lot of games when he was here for 4 years. I go every time the Sixers are down here. Sixers are actually here tomorrow night for the playoffs. Sixers Heat.
Bummer that Embiid's got that injury. Just
it's a nightmare, dude. We were up 29 when that happened in the closeout game. It's awful. It's
freak accident, you know. I mean, not normal, but probably shouldn't have been in the game when you're up 29.
No, you absolutely should not have been in the game. I mean, it's a closeout game. You don't want to take anything for chance, but it's 29, and like Siakam comes down the lane and just bashes him right in the eye, like awful. I can't believe it. Of course that happened. So. But Sixers are down here two nights this week. I'm excited about. But I was like, what I was saying about LeBron is I really grew to appreciate him. I went to Game 7 of the NBA Finals versus Spurs when they beat the Spurs. I went to a lot of really amazing games and just watched him. Like, he's incredible for sure. Even the people that hate him will still admit he's like a top 3 or 4 player of all time.
Yeah, the GOAT conversation will always be an argument.
Yeah. It will. He's not. I mean, unless he gets a couple more championships, it's going to be hard to give it to him. But you know, he's got everything else. He's got everything else.
Yeah, maybe for another pod we'll argue about that. He's my guy.
Yeah.
This was NFTs only.
I've made that argument before too. It's not hard to make the argument for him. But he needs those championships. He needs a couple more for people really to iron it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
what other NFT stuff you want to talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you going to talk about before I interrupted you like twice?
We're always circling back to.
I know. Whenever I get, when I get pushed to the side.
Hey, this is my podcast. Remember?
Yeah, I know. I remember. I hear it all the time. Yeah. Well, how about Medicaid? Did you see what happened with that? Jennifer and I talk about that.
What happened?
So a few days ago, Maddie was like, there's a big announcement coming. This project's never going to be the same. The price, if you remember, I bought 1, 2, and 3 a month ago, and I paid about 5 ETH total. And yesterday they shot all the way up. It was about 13 ETH to buy them all.
Let's go.
Yeah, now it's down to like 11, but like they released, if you go onto his Medicare, his Twitter, they released these videos of the game they're building. Like looks really cool, but the price is all shot up. Yeah, really good videos.
I'm looking at it now. It's kind of giving me I'm pretty sure you both are in biopills, right?
Yeah.
I heard that on the one of the podcasts I was listening to. It kind of these videos are giving me biopill video vibes when they release like the Voyager stuff.
Right, for sure.
Oh my God, they should collab.
Yeah,
seriously, they should.
I was-
Yeah, we don't
Hold
need
on a
10
little
million
bit of-
games. We need like one amazing one.
Yeah, can everyone just collab together? Like,
I was really hoping BioPills would come out and say something about collabing with the other side because their whole thing is interoperability, and
Right.
they've come out with that from the start. And so I was hoping that they would say something about it, but not yet.
Yeah.
But we hodl, right? So
Yeah, we do. We've hodled that.
yeah.
Actually, I minted 5 of those when it happened. Right now, I have 2 of everything. I think Jennifer has the same 2 of everything.
Yes.
yeah, I just have one. Of
One,
everything.
yeah, that's it. Hey, that's
Oh,
cool.
that makes it good. That makes it easy to hodl. That's what I always say. If you just have one, it's the easiest. Like my doodle, it's like, yeah, it's the most valuable thing. I literally traded it, with the founder for 1 ETH worth of actually BYO pill stuff. Because that's what I had. But yeah, I'm just like, I only have one, so how can I let it go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just really wonder how many games can we play? It's a legitimate question.
That's a
It
great
is.
question. I actually don't play any games. Like I haven't even started doing the cool pets thing yet. Like games really aren't my thing.
Dude, give me your login. I'll earn
to?
the cool. I'll freaking earn the milk for you.
Well,
yeah,
you
I
need
do
my-
it every single day. Every single day, a couple
You
hours.
need my seed. You
not
need
a
my
couple
seed
hours.
phrase. You need my
Yeah,
seed phrase.
just
Oh,
give me your
okay.
seed phrase.
Okay.
And yeah,
Okay.
I'll just wipe your
They
wallet.
they don't have the rental programs yet. What are those called? Like Axie, you
Something
can
to, yeah, you can rent. Yeah, right. There's like scholars and scholarships
that's it, yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah, they should have that. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
It's probably
But-
coming.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be that's definitely going to be a play, I'd imagine. And the other side is being able to get rewards for people playing with some of your characters or playing on your land, that kind of stuff.
I would think so.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just don't know how many games we can play realistically. I would agree.
know.
I'm not
I
playing.
agree. Yeah.
I'm not really playing any games right now. I have in the past a little bit, but my closest friend that does games seriously, he's just not into crypto. And even though he buys skins, which I tried to do the whole, hey man,
Right.
you can own a skin and take it to all your games kind of
And
composability.
resell it one day. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but he wasn't about it. He just wants to buy his skins on, whatever game he's playing. But we're also, I just don't even know still what the age group that games most is. I would imagine it's maybe a little bit younger versus the older age group, and the people with money are in this slightly older age group. So it will be interesting because everyone wants to come out with a game because games get buzz. But that's a trend. And I think eventually that trend has to shift to that not being the next thing on a project's roadmap.
I think about it like Top Shot as well, how they don't advertise their moments as NFTs. And they're really trying to cater to basketball fans of just like, here's digital trading cards, like, that are just easy to buy, sell, and trade. And so I feel like they need to kind of integrate NFT, just digital ownership into existing games already and not make it a big deal and not make it about monetization. Because some people just hate the fact that, you make a bunch of money, like that's so scammy and Ponzi and blah, blah. Like they just like it shouldn't have to be about that. Maybe it's just a different angle that they have to take. And like, I think gamers also think about the quality of the game. And, a lot of these games are, these Web3 games are not the best. I play 2 games right now. The Cooltopia, I guess, is a game. And then Gods Unchained, which is just for fun. It's a blockchain game. And I own all my, cards in it and stuff. But it was really just for fun. And I've never been a gamer before that. So I don't really have expectations on how games are supposed to be. I don't know. I feel like they have to just weave it in there without making it seem like this is an NFT.
Yeah.
Like
You're actually exactly right about that. I've heard a lot of people say that in the future and in gaming that NFTs will be so ubiquitous. We're not even going to call them NFTs. It's just going to be you own your digital, merchandise.
Yeah.
It's not, you're not even going to call them.
It's the MP3 example, kind of like no one actually, I want to challenge you two. Do you know what MP3 stands for?
Oh, well,
Music player 3.
I don't know either. And that's the thing. It doesn't matter. But it's just that same vibe. Like no one, what's an MP3? Like,
right.
MP3 is audio file or it's a song.
Right.
So what's an NFT? Like it doesn't matter what an NFT is. You just know like, oh, I play these things or I own them.
Mm-hmm. Or just like digital collectible.
Elon Musk said something really insightful about crypto, or it was kind of like crypto tangential, but he was talking about, it was a tweet around commerce, and was saying that, for commerce to evolve, we need a smoother form of transaction. Like whatever form of currency we use, it doesn't matter if it's dollars or whatever, we're going to use the one that reduces the friction of transaction, reducing friction of transaction. And when you think about NFTs, we're going to evolve to do things that reduce the friction of usability. Like NFTs are kind of like, it's like a puzzle piece that doesn't always fit just right, and we need to get to that place where it's smooth and it's seamless, and until you don't even realize that's what you're doing. And, and right now there is a lot of thinking around it. The steps I had to walk my mom through last night for this mint, it was kind of crazy walking her through it. And, that is not going to take us to world adoption,
Props to you for doing that though, because that's like mad awesome. Respect for like actually walking through, how to do something that's super kind of complicated unless you're actually in it and, you fully understand everything. It's like, yeah, that can be overwhelming. So that was very nice of you to teach your mom, especially, and like get her into it.
Thanks.
I love that.
Thanks. Shout out, Mom, if you're listening to this.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you jumped into Web3 and yeah, now you don't regret listening to me talk about CryptoPunks and apes ad nauseum on the phone.
Nice.
What are some of the other projects that you're into? What are some of your favorites? Your big bags, your strong plays?
My bag since day one, and it's really why I'm here is the apes. I got an ape for like 0.4 ETH back in like a couple weeks after mint. It was also the first NFT I sold. I like to tell people I sold it accidentally because it was the first one I ever listed on OpenSea. I listed it at like 80 ETH. The floor was 1. I went camping for a week. Floor shot up type of vibe. But
wow. Yeah.
So, but I got back into mutants like right away and been holding it ever since midnight. Bio pills. I was in World of Women for a bit. Robotos. I just had Pablo Stanley on the Unstoppable podcast this past week. So
he has a new project coming, right? Doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got a couple things in the cooking. He's working on kind of more Web3 tooling for creators to do like generative projects with ease. Think like no code Web 2 things like, but for Web3. So I think that's awesome. And honestly, I'm really not a trader. I don't do a lot of selling, but I had a very rare Roboto. It was like top 200 Cyborgo with a halo, and it was super clean. And I sold it at the top. It was crazy.
Let's go. That's very satisfying.
Just like I follow the guy who bought it, and he's like a Roboto super fan, and I think he's really happy with it. But the floor is just not there anymore. But the first time I think I ever sold a top, so that was sick. But
that's a good feeling.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I rolled that first ape sale for 8 ETH. I rolled that into a mutant, World of Women, Bio Pills, Roboto, and like rolled World of Women and all those 3 into a couple other things. I got a Moonbird, and I'm holding that still. So I bought that on the bottom. I didn't mint, but I got it when it dropped down to 8. It was like came out hot. It was like 12, trickled down, picked it up at 8, then it skyrocketed.
Nice work.
I don't know. I got some other random stuff. I'd have to like open up my OpenSea and look. I've got some music NFTs, which are really fun. Daniel Allen, he's a big Web3 musician. If you're familiar, he was in Time, doing some innovative stuff. I saw him in person at NFT NYC, and I vibed. So I scooped up one of his Sound XYZ collections, and also a Snoop Dogg one.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Nice. So I got a good collection here.
Yeah, you got some good solid stuff.
I opened my OpenSea, and I got to talk about it real quick. I have a Euler beat, and the Euler beat is, I look at that, and that's really where, in tandem with Top Shot, it was that like first couple of weeks I got into NFTs. Euler beats were like a lot of the talk of the town. Beanie was talking about them. DC Investor was talking about them, and I got a print. I bought it for like 9 ETH and with some friends. And instead, it was either the Euler beat for 9 ETH or like a punk for 15 ETH. And I just had never spent that kind of money on anything before, and I couldn't convince myself to do. My friends were like willing to throw in a little bit, but they weren't willing to throw in that much. And I just didn't have enough to get up to the punk. So I was like, all right, I can't do the punk. People talk about this Euler beat. Let's do this thing. So that will probably just never be sold because it doesn't have the demand anymore, but it's one of the OG on-chain like music projects. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Very cool.
Are your friends into NFTs too? Like the ones that went in on that, or you just like don't update them about the fact that it's kind of down bad, or like what's the situation there?
So, like NFTs popped during peak pandemic, right? So at the time I had just moved to Seattle and I was living in a house with five guys total. So just a big house, 5 of us. It was
sounds like chaos.
I didn't know any of them before moving too. And it turned out awesome. I can't speak more highly of it. So also shout out to the guys at the Planet and Genesis LP8 group chat. So I was into crypto and it just started off as conversations around the couch at night, like conversations on the porch. And we would talk about crypto. And then all of a sudden, like they're buying a little bit of ETH, they're buying a little bit of Bitcoin. And I had just gotten burned so bad in 2017, riding the wave up and riding it all the way down. I said, look, this wave is coming. And I'm not going to make the same mistake I did last time. I'm out here to accumulate the blue chip cryptos, my Bitcoin and my Ethereum. I'm not touching altcoins. And then NFTs came out and I bought that Top Shot before we ever talked about NFTs. And I told them, and then we started talking about it. And at first they were all anti-NFTers. But the more we talked about it, it just was like every night was a 2-hour conversation around crypto. And now they're all 100% bought in. They've all started to accumulate Bitcoin and Ethereum. They all bought Top Shots with me. I would say none of them have made the jump that I made. And it's tough. It's tough to spend your hard-earned saved money on something when you're not keeping up with it every day. But I think they definitely believe in the vision, but they are not they're not aping into things like I am on a week-to-week basis. But that's cool. But I definitely update them, and they always want to know more.
Yeah, taking that leap from Top Shot, like it was like the people that just stayed in Top Shot and they were stubborn. They didn't want to, move over and kind of, what else? What's happening on Ethereum? It's like
I was slow myself.
I mean, but you still took the jump at some. I was slow too. I was stubborn. I was like, no, I'm a Dapper Labs maxi. Like, I'm not doing anything that's not, flow. And it was like, I don't know. That's just how it was. Like, that's, CryptoKitties got me started. Like, I don't know. I just was really into that. And then you realize, wait a minute, like, let me be open-minded. Like, let me, it's just.
In the beginning, OpenSea felt like I don't want to use the word trash, but like OpenSea was like the low quality stuff. Anything was on OpenSea, and then people were just uploading GIFs and stuff and trying to sell them as NFTs. So OpenSea just had this weird vibe to me at first, and I just was slow to adopt. But if only I was a little earlier, I would have minted the apes too. But my friend who founded this music NFT company, Dwight Mint Songs, I just follow him on Twitter. Then all of a sudden he's got an ape, and I was basically like, well, if Dwight's buying something, I need to know what that is. And that was really led me there.
Yep. I was in Vivi. Have you familiar with Vivi? I did start with Top Shot.
I know it.
I went to Vivi, actually started a Facebook group, met all these amazing people, awesome people I'm still friends with. And I know a lot of people that still are just into Vivi and didn't come over. I got lucky in the fact that I got into NFTs because of Gary V. That our listeners are going to be totally shocked to hear me say that. But
he talks about Gary V every single episode.
Yeah, Gary, you're the man, Gary. Gary listens to every episode too, so it's awesome that we get
maybe one day
a fun story for you about Gary. So like behind me, it's getting a little dark here, but you can't see. I got this photo. I did a lot of music stuff. Did some concerts, with my friend, and like had this rap thing going on, and we made a rap song. Like we were trying to target Gary so hard, so we made a rap song called "I Feel Like Gary V." I shot the music video. I totally thought that was going to go viral.
Yeah.
He never retweeted it though.
Dude, I want to see it. I want to see it.
I'll
You have to
have
send
to
it to
send
us
it.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just saying that because that's actually how I came over to Ethereum, is when he started saying, hey, everybody get a MetaMask. I got a MetaMask loaded up with ETH. I loaded it up, buy some VFriends, bought some VFriends.
Dude,
And
I
turned
faded
that
Gary
into
at
everything.
first. When Gary
Yeah.
came out with the VFriends, it was just like
Most people did. And
Most
that's
people
probably
did.
why it was so good. Because
yeah,
the people that bought it were the people that were into him and didn't want to sell.
because I just had been listening to him for years, and
Yeah.
and it just felt
Me
I
too,
don't know
dude.
what it was.
Yeah, the entrepreneur. He was really big in like and oh my God, it's so funny how now like NFT events are super popular. I used to go to a ton of like entrepreneur events, which used to be like all the rage. Like everyone would go to the entrepreneur events. Like even if you weren't even like an entrepreneur, you were just like interested. And it was such like a big thing, which I feel like now it's kind of not really that much of a big thing. Now like NFTs is the big thing. But yeah, it was like interesting, following Gary was kind of like that annoying like entrepreneur that always like was talking like just so much, and it's like okay, you kind of had to listen to him, but low key he was like okay,
Yeah, we
Gary,
went
we
through
get
that
it.
phase. We went through that phase of NFTs where influencers had some cash grabs, and Gary V was not that, and he was also, I'd say, before, but we like what's his name, Crypto 888, or that guy.
Yep.
Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean, he had the whatever his project is.
The inner circle.
I feel like the
It
inner
went up to
circle
3
really-
ETH. It went up to 3 ETH. It's down to nothing now almost.
Yeah, that died.
Damn, really?
We've
What
seen
the-
a couple others.
It's
Other
down to
influencers
zero?
try.
It's
Wait,
not
yeah, can you
zero.
fact
It's
check
not
this, Michael?
zero, but it's not zero, but it's
Don't you
0.2.
have one? Don't you have one?
I sold mine at like 3 ETH. It's down to
Oh, wow.
0.2.
And another top. Nice.
Yeah.
wow.
I bought
But-
it for like 0.5 and sold it for like 3 ETH. And I mean, he could still do something with it. He had that amazing website, that 888 A New World, that website was beautiful with that video listing all the best artists in the space. And I'm not sure what's going on over there.
I just find something super interesting, and it helps to be in this every day. Like whoever's listening, you're probably like pretty deep in NFTs, I'd imagine, but tracking the trends and noticing when something is being talked about more, this is such a trend driven industry right now, because part of it's because we're rapidly innovating. And so we're in real time, we're discovering what's next and then jumping to that. And so
everybody always wants the hot new thing. That's a line I use. We used to use it in tickets all the time. You talking about music? I was actually a ticket broker before this for 17 years. So that I was similar industries to me. I was able to jump in because of that experience. But yeah, everybody always wants the hot new thing. Like whatever, there's always going to be something new. Most of these projects, they go up and they're going to come back down. Most of them.
Yeah. Chris Dixon is like a big Web3 VC from Andreessen Horowitz. He has a good quote that says, innovation at the beginning often looks like a toy. And the cool things people are like, the next thing looks like a hobby for the smart people on the weekends. And it's like a little bit different in Web3, right? But I like to keep that in mind and think about the next thing is probably something that I see on Twitter and I'm like, not important. But whenever I see something on Twitter that I don't quite understand, that's NFT related, that triggers like every red flag for me or green flag that says, all right, save that, learn that. Like, are people talking about optimism rollups right now? That just blew my brain, but I'm going to read that thread, follow up on that article, because if I don't know what an L2 is, I probably should. And so that always helps me catch the next thing is when I don't understand something I see on Twitter.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Yeah.
What is an L2? Describe it.
An L2 is a blockchain that is either cheaper or more efficient, more scalable to use, but that rolls up to an L1. So an L1 the main one would be Ethereum. A great L2, for example, is Polygon. So Polygon does transactions much easier, much more efficient and at lower cost than Ethereum, but it's still benefiting from Ethereum security. So I kind of would say, instead of publishing every transaction on Ethereum, like one transaction goes to Ethereum, then another, Polygon would take like 100 of them, and then push that all to Ethereum at once so it can happen in more efficiently. There's like every blockchain faces something called the blockchain trilemma. I was just thinking about this before the call or our podcast. It's scalability, transaction speed, and security. I want to say, I feel like scalability and speed might be the same thing. And I'm forgetting the third element of this triangle, but L2s are going to help optimize on like one of those core things on the blockchain trilemma to do something faster, cheaper, but the L1 will almost always be more secure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I thought I remembered reading somewhere that Vitalik was saying like that Ethereum was not really meant for like NFTs and stuff to be like minted directly onto. Like it's kind of like that should be like a layer 2 thing is what he was kind of saying, which I thought was kind of interesting because like that's not how things are happening right now.
Yeah. And I think you can even see that in their roadmap. And I'm by no means in Ethereum, someone so deep in the Ethereum roadmap, I can talk super intelligently about everything, but they're focusing more on rollups right now and things like zero knowledge proofs. They're not focusing on necessarily transaction speed per second. Like the merge, the big thing that's happening with the merge is proof of work to proof of stake. It's not like increasing transaction speed tenfold. And so that's why like gas fees and stuff, I don't think they're going to really change with the merge. So we're going to rely on rollups and some of these proofs to do some off-chain work and then put the truth, the proof of record back on chain. So you're not even going to realize we're going to live in a world eventually. We were talking about like the NFTs earlier with the realizing what's an NFT game and what's not. But you're not even going to realize most of the things they're doing are on the blockchain eventually. So
yeah,
because of these rollups will make things so fast and efficient. There won't be costs and gas fees and stuff like that. And I will say, just for any listeners, if you want another little alpha thing, like the Optimism's an L2 on Ethereum, and they just announced their airdrop last week. But our Arbitrum is another L2, and it's basically it's a surefire thing that they're going to come out with a token eventually too. So if you want to do a little bit of learning on some L2s and maybe a little bit of airdrop farming, bridge some ETH over to Arbitrum, test it out, learn what it is, spend an hour, spend $50 in gas fees, and you never know if a token is coming your way.
That's the nice thing about Web3, right? Is if you use things, sometimes they reward you.
People say the trend to do is play to earn, but it's really play to earn.
Yeah.
I remember Unstoppable Domains they gave a lot of people credit for like, I didn't own any, but a lot of my friends who had been buying on Unstoppable Domains got like $2,000 in credits to use and stuff.
Yeah, we did a domain credit. Right. Not a token airdrop. So yeah, we did do that once, and it was a big airdrop. I actually just don't have the numbers. I joined after that, but like I think millions of dollars of credits were basically given out to early users. Yeah. And now everyone just says when token. But the token is not in the future for a lot of really good reasons. So but yeah, we did do that back in the day. You're an OG if you know that.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that happening. Yeah. I'm an OG. I was on Clubhouse every night talking to all those people for months and months.
That's awesome. That is OG too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just being on Clubhouse talking to for sure. I still go on Clubhouse. I love it over there.
I think my OG.
It's pretty much dead, but
it is dead. Yeah.
Is it really? Dang, rest in peace. I had this thing in my mind because you're always hyping it up. I'm like, oh yeah, Clubhouse is probably still popping and everything. And then
no, it's not. It's really cool people. It's people that I'm friends with that I love chatting it up with. But we used to do rooms with hundreds and hundreds of people, and now it might be 25 NFT people.
Got it. Not as much. Yeah, because everyone's over on Twitter Spaces. That's fine.
Everyone's on Twitter Spaces. Yeah, last night there was a room with 2,500 people. There was a room with 700 people. Like it's wild over there.
Well, we'll have to get you on one of our Unstoppable Twitter Spaces. We do them on Thursdays, so we do them with people. If you I think you
love that anytime.
Like have Unstoppable Domains, and so we try to do spaces with community members. and give them like some light, some shine, and talk about those things you're working on. So would love to talk about your pod and, you know, the other projects you're working on sometime on that.
Please. Yeah, we would love to do that.
I'll hit you up on Twitter.
Yeah.
Sweet.
No doubt. And so I don't know, is there anything else we should talk about before we usually at the end, Josh, we do like the 7-day collection rankings by sales volume, just kind of go over a little bit of data for people. So is there anything you want to talk about before we get into that? Or
no, I'm
it's
cool.
it's been a great conversation. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Jennifer. You got something.
I just wanted to shout out Levi Saville.nft. Oh, they literally have the domain.nft. Wow, love that.
Go.
On Twitter. I literally didn't even realize that until as I was reading it. It's so funny. That's amazing. Anyway, they said love in the NFT Catcher pod with NF Ticket and Jennifer Sudo, top content and conversation. And they showed a screenshot where they rated us a 5-star, which is so freaking nice. So just wanted to shout them out. Thank you for that, Levi. Appreciate you.
Levi, I want to say thanks for having an unstoppable domain. And when you're done listening to this podcast, head on over to the Unstoppable podcast and listen over there too. You might need 2 podcasts in your weekly rotation.
There we go.
I just gave Levi a follow as well.
Nice.
Love it.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. So we actually, there was somebody speaking of Levi and reviews and stuff. Did you see, Jennifer, where Kevin Rose said, who are your best, most trusted NFT podcasts? And a bunch of people put ours.
Yeah, that was so nice.
Cool. That was nice. That was really nice. Yeah. And there was somebody that did like an aggregate. He was like, here's the list. And we were like fourth most recommendations in this whole tweet. Yeah, it was really cool.
That's awesome.
That'd be great. That'd be crazy if Kevin Rose wanted to come on.
He lives in Portland. I DM him. I'm yet to get a response.
Yeah. Maybe you'll run into him or something.
I DM'd him too. I didn't get a response.
I actually I got Ryan Carson booked for the pod this coming
week. Really?
Before the fallout. And
wow.
It's interesting. I was like, what do I do here? But I think it's still worth having the conversation.
Oh, of course it is. Yeah.
So I'm going to talk to him, but I've been trying to get Kevin too, because he's local.
Yeah.
And we
that'd be nice. Yeah.
We can do a dual episode.
Let's do it.
Two moonbirds, one stone.
Nah, three try podcasts, because he's got the proof, so it could be like all 3 podcasts.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Come on, Kevin. Who knows, Kevin?
You know you want to do it. We should do some. Oh my god, we should totally organize this where we do like reach out to like 5 or 10 people that have podcasts, and then we get everybody on like a giant NFT podcast, like the ultimate episode. And then we all post it on all of our channels. Like that'd be so crazy and epic.
That'd be pretty crazy.
I like it. Let's make it happen.
Okay. I need
a couple people that I like and I respect in the podcast game, so we'd be down for that.
Yeah. Who are some of your other favorite NFT podcasts?
I like the Mint podcast. It's music focused by Levi. So I like that one a lot. I mean, Kevin Rose. I mean, I listen to the Modern Finance a lot. I listened to that a lot before I got into Web3 full time. And then, obviously shout out to Bankless. They put out too many episodes. I can't listen to them all, but they get people that are super thoughtful. And so I'll kind of pick and choose my Bankless episodes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like Two Bored Apes with Jamie and Zeneca. I like, obviously I like Props and Drops with Gary V and Matt Kalish. They haven't put out an episode in a while, but
and the stuff that Carly Riley's doing is good.
Yeah, she's amazing. We did an episode with her. She does really good guests and does really good podcasts. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that one.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's enough people out there who are so curious about this space that we all play a role in educating in our respective niches. And so it's just like, it's not even, I think I think I kind of like this. I'm not beefing with any podcast. It's just like, I think we can all work together and
it's just like the NFT projects. It's not, there's going to be a million NFT podcasts, and there's going to be popular people that start coming out with them and leapfrog people that have been doing it for months and months. It's the way it is. Like, we're just here to have fun. And I'll always shout out other, Nifty Alpha I talked about last week. I love listening to those guys. Pio and Nick, those guys do awesome job. They're blowing up. Like they do a Twitter space. It's like 1,600 people every morning now. But I'm all about like being friends with everybody. doing it all together. Yeah, for sure.
Collaboration versus competition.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, let's do this sales volume thing.
All right, sales volume. So it's NFT collection rankings by sales volume over the last 7 days. I pull it from cryptoslam.io. We've done that from the beginning. It's just a website that I've used ever since I've been in the NFT space. So number one is no surprise, and this is over 7 days, but it's Other Deed, the other side. They have $380 million in sales volume. Number two is Bored Ape with 142, and 142 million is over 7 days. 380 is in 24 hours. 380 million on the secondary alone. They've done almost $1 billion in sale, like between the 300 million they brought in, the 130 million that got burnt, and the 380 on secondary. It's like $800 million in a day. It's unprecedented. It's insane. It's just crazy. So I said number two is Bored Apes. Number three is Mutants. Number four is Moonbirds. Bored Apes is 142. Mutants is 121, and Moonbirds is down to 54 million. So there's a big drop off after that. Number five is OK Bears on Solana. I don't know if you guys.
That was popping off.
Big time.
I'm not getting deep into Solana yet, but that's like one of those things that it's like a green flag. It's like, okay, I'm not in Solana.
Right.
Keep seeing
1,000%.
1,000%.
And it's on OpenSea now.
Make the Phantom wallet.
Yeah.
Start experimenting.
I know. We've been talking about that for months, actually, that I've been meaning to get over there. Number six is
this week.
Yeah. I know. I really need to.
I have a Phantom wallet. I have a couple of random Solana NFTs. I haven't checked on them though, so I have no idea if they're doing well or not. So
number six is Imaginary Ones, which I was hearing rumors that might have been Ruggy, but
I heard that was the same team as the Squiggles. Like,
right,
someone was like connecting.
Somebody
the dots.
connected a wallet or something. Yeah,
like art block Squiggles.
No, or what was it called, Michael? It was maybe it was directly called Squiggles. I don't know, but it was like this, like
not the Chrome Squiggles
scam. Okay. Like it was a popular scam that like had got a lot of hype, and they bought a ton of followers and everything. It just looks kind of legit, but then if you really looked into it, it was like a scam. So a lot of people are saying it's the same creators, and obviously they're anonymous. So
yeah.
So I'm not really. I got to look into that and see what's come of that, but there's a lot of volume on it. 41 million. Akutars is number 7. Obviously, that was a nightmare last week. With what happened with that $34 million. VFriends 2, number 8. Doodles, number 9. Meebits, number 10. The Dogs, 11. Clone X, Murakami Flowers, Azuki. So really, the cream's rising to the top.
Meebits, because one of the co-founders of Bored Apes, Gordon, he tweeted, he was like, I've been really thinking about what type of utility we could add to Meebits. And then all of a sudden they start flying off the shelf.
It's amazing what one tweet like that could do. It really is like.
Yeah, you should see what happens when I put out a tweet. Things fly.
Me too.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
one thing I'll point out on here is just number 13, the Murakami flower seed. It's fun working at Unstoppable because I like have some other degens that I just in the Slack channel, so we're always like sharing alpha and some of them are real big believers in Murakami, like think that this is going to blow up when they reveal into like and I think there was even a leak recently on what the reveal is going to look like, but apparently big artist. I totally agree. We've actually been talking about that for a while before it was even out. Like when
Michael's
it first announced
huge
it was
fan.
coming. Yeah, I don't have any. I don't have any exposure. No, I don't. Sadly, but
me neither. Yeah, I'm just saying.
It's like 7th for the. Yeah,
it's like the Clone X artist. That's why it's so popular.
Yeah.
So
I guess we did see that that happen once with. This is also going to show how far back I go with Toad.
Flex on us. Oh, Cryptodes. The Cryptodes.
That artist did what? Remind
me.
Gremlin.
Yeah, and so everyone. But what did that artist make? Was what they call Gremlins?
No,
I don't know. I didn't even know that the artist was popular. I thought just all the OGs latched on to that particular project.
He was popular for doing something before, but I'm not sure if it was an NFT project.
I'm totally blanking out, but yeah, so people were like, oh, that artist, and then Toads ran. I mean, they also had totally influencer pumped, but I'm just saying we've seen that trend play out before. So I thought about jumping in, but I was saving my ETH for Otherside to be honest. So, but now that's over. So who knows?
Right. Yeah, no, Murakami Flowers is definitely going to be good. Whatever it is, I just don't know if it's going in at 7 unrevealed is the right move or not. It might be.
Franklin was saying post reveal is the best time for snipes if you believe the project will do well.
Yeah, right. He was saying his advice was when you see lots of volume but the floor going down and you like the project, that's the best time to snag when there's still a lot of volume. But there
was a 10-minute period I remember on both Mutants when they minted and on Moonbirds, and I didn't execute on either properly. But I will say there's this 10-minute period where they reveal and no one knows what's rare. But I was on Moonbirds. There was a Moonbird listed at like 2 ETH above the floor. It was like 10 at the time. And I clicked it, and then all of a sudden the image pops up and it's this gold with a king's crown. I tried to buy so quick, and someone had bought it a second before me, but it was snipes like that can be sometimes life-changing if you can catch something before the metadata refreshes.
There's a lot of bots. There's a lot of bots now doing that stuff.
You just can't beat the bots, unfortunately.
Right, it's tough. Yeah.
All right. Well, any closing thoughts before we wrap up this special collaborative episode?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks for having me on the podcast. It was great to talk NFTs with you. And, if anyone's still listening this deep in, shout out to you, and check my podcast is the Unstoppable Podcast, comes out every Wednesday. I'm talking to top VC people, creators in the NFT space, collectors, entrepreneurs. So, enjoy this kind of conversation, and I don't know, just shout out to you. And if you ever want an NFT domain, hit me up on Twitter at JustWavyJ. Happy to help you out and talk through some identity stuff.
Awesome. What a pleasure, Josh. This was a great combo.
Yeah, we'll link, all that in the show notes as well, so people can check that out. But yeah, this has been such a fun episode. Honestly, you're really knowledgeable, Josh, and it was really a pleasure to be able to just, talk about the topics of the week with you. And yeah, we will have to organize some crazy collab episode in the future. But thank you all so much for listening, and we will catch you in the next episode. Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to the NFT Catcher Podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned something new about the exciting world of NFTs. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you really love what you're hearing, please leave us a rating and review on your favorite platform. If you want to stay up to date with the latest news and insights from the NFT space, be sure to follow us on all the socials at NFT Catcher Pod. You can follow Jennifer at Jennifer_pseudo and Michael at NFTicket. I'm your producer, Andy, and I'm at AJC254. Our theme song's by It's Just Los. We always appreciate your feedback and support, which helps us reach more people and bring you informative and engaging content about NFTs. We look forward to bringing you more great NFT content in future episodes. Thanks for listening. Peace.